You have a hadith that says Muhammad's going to wear jewelry from the Persian Empire, from the Persian king.
One of his companions.
So you have a hadith that says one of his companions is going to wear jewelry from the Persian.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And that hadith is written hundreds of years later after it happened.
Uh-huh. And it was heard by multiple people with multiple chains.
But it was written hundreds of years after that happened. So how is this evidence of prophecy?
Yeah, because it was said by the prophet before it happened.
How do you know?
Because we have unbroken chains from multiple sources, from multiple different chains.
Okay. My wife told me that you're an idiot. Is it true?
No.
It's an unbroken chain.
Okay.
How do you know Abraham received an Islamic prophecy?
Because we believe, so Islam is the religion of all of the prophets, right? So from
Yeah,
Adam,
you keep telling me what you believe. Please stop doing it and justify the belief. I'm sick and tired of hearing what you guys believe, right? No, stop, please stop for a second. I have spoken to probably well over 2,000 Muslims since I've been doing this. I know what you guys believe. Can you give me the justification for it?
The justification for why we believe that Abraham was a Muslim?
Yes.
Yeah, because he submitted to the one true God.
How do you know that that one true God is the same God that revealed the Quran?
Because that's what the God of the Quran tells us.
Okay. Why should I trust the Quran?
Because it's a miraculous work.
How do you know it's miraculous?
There's lots of signs, there's lots of indicators, there's lots of miracles within it. You can talk
like
about
what?
prophecies. Yeah, you can talk about prophecies of the future. You can
what?
Talk about,
specifics, please.
The defeat of the Romans in the lowest land.
Right. So it says that they will defeat the Byzantines within 3 to 9 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the lowest land.
God, the all-knowing God, had to give a prophecy of 3 to 9 years.
No, so that's the English translation. It's actually a word. For example, let's say I use the word soon in English. Soon does not have a specific time frame, right? But in Arabic, the word used is
Can you give
similar.
me a singular hadith or tafsir that says that it's the word soon?
Soon is an English word.
Yeah, so you're saying it better translates not to 3 to 9 years, to the word soon. Can you give me a single tafsir or hadith that uses that translation?
It doesn't better translate to soon. Just let me finish the explanation when you understand. So the word.
Yeah, I understand your explanation. Can you give me a source for that explanation?
The Arabic dictionaries, but you don't even know what I'm saying. I couldn't get to the main point.
Give me the dictionary source then with the quotation.
Okay, first listen to what I'm saying. So the word being used there is a single word. It's
what
not actually
word?
I'm not sure on the exact word.
So then how do you know it's not the how do you know that's not the word being used?
Because I don't speak Arabic, but I've
So you don't speak Arabic, you don't know the word being used, yet you know how it should be translated?
All right, let me get it out for you. 1 second. It's this. Bid'i sinin. There you go. Bid'i sinin. Now, this word, right, is similar to using the word, for example, soon, but in Arabic, in English, when we say the word soon, right, it doesn't have a specific time attached to it. But in Arabic, right, this word has a specific time attached to it. So in Arabic, when they say the word soon, right, but like their version, it literally means between 3 to 9 years. So it's literally an exact time frame, if that makes sense.
Okay, can you give me a tafsir, a hadith that agrees with your interpretation?
Yeah, so this is not something in tafsirs. This is something you would find in the dictionaries. I mean,
give me a dictionary source.
Okay. Okay, boom. So I just put in Google Translate, right? And it translates to in a few years.
A few years? That's not soon, is it?
In a few years, soon. My point is, it's not
That's not the same
3
thing.
to 9. It's not the numbers 3 to 9. But
that's still not the same thing. So God, all-knowing God, said this is going to happen in a few years.
No, because the word in Arabic, when they say this word, which means roughly in a few years, it's an exact time frame. It means between 3 to 9 years. So that's why they translated it.
So if I say right now that the United States is going to lose a battle within a few years, and they do, am I a prophet of God?
That's not what God said. He gave an exact time frame.
No, he literally didn't. Is a few exact?
So I don't understand what you're doing. So you're trying to use the English translation and apply it to
You said this word, which means a few, according to your translation. Not the way that the scholars translated it to 3 to 9. Your layman guy, have a better translation to it, and no justification for why it translates it that way. But let's just grant it and say it's a few, right? So if I say right now the United States Army is going to lose a battle in the Near East within a few years, and they do, am I a prophet of God?
Okay, so no. Okay, and I'll tell you
why not.
Because so that's not similar at all, and the reason being, the US losing a battle within 3 to 9 years, or within 5 to 6 years, or whatever time frame you give, is not a miraculous work. This prophecy is equivalent. So let me just give you some context. At this time, when this was revealed, this verse, the Romans were at the point of utter destruction. They were to the point where the Persian king, this is history, recorded in history, the Persian king was sending letters to the Roman emperor, telling him to come to him in full submission, you dog. Literally calling him a dog in these letters. It was to that level. Now, at this point, when the Romans were near their absolute destruction, this verse was revealed, and it also specified that the battle will take place in the lowest land geographically.
Okay. So just to be clear,
in that exact time frame which was given, right? And the word used is not between the number 3 to between the number 9. It's a specific word used, which in the language of Arabic has a specific time frame attached to it, right? In the lowest land, the Dead Sea, right, the geographical lowest land, in the time frame, the Romans overcame their enemies. How is this not a miraculous prophecy? How did the prophet?
Okay, right, so let me just. Hold on, you're spurging. You're spurging.
I'm just trying to ask the final question.
I understand your question. Let me answer it.
You don't. How did the prophet know where the geographic lowest point on dry earth is, and why would he make such a risky prophecy?
Okay. Now I knew what you're going to say. Like you said, I didn't. Now let me just try to steel man what you're saying. You're saying that the Romans at this time were almost destroyed to the point where Persia was telling them to submit because they were dogs. So as a matter of fact, it seems like Romans were losing a lot of battles, and you're shocked that Muhammad said that they were going to lose another battle within a few years.
Overcome the enemies. The Romans, it says the Romans have been defeated, but within 3 to 9 years, they will overcome.
Okay, so they're going to win a battle.
Overcome their enemies, not win a battle. And they made a comeback. This is known as the greatest
Within 3 to 9 years, the whole
history.
matter rests that Allah before and after victory, and on that day, the believers will rejoice.
Yeah.
And the victory will be Allah. He gives victory to whoever He wills, for He is mighty and all-merciful. This is a promise of Allah, and Allah never fails in His promise, but most people do not.
Historically, John, historically.
So where does He even talk about? Where does He even talk about the lowest land? It just says in a nearby land.
That's an incorrect translation. It's in the lowest land.
Everything. So I'm looking at it in Arabic right here, right?
Adna Lord. That's the Arabic.
Adna
Lord means lowest land.
Yeah, in the nearest land.
It means click it. It says Adna Lord.
Adna. That's not what it says. I clicked it. It doesn't say what you're saying.
What does it say?
Adna.
Well, maybe I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but what does it say? Go on.
It says the nearest land.
No, in the Arabic.
Nearest. It literally says on the screen, when I highlight over it in Arabic, it says nearest. Here's the part where it says a few, the part that you're arguing about, right? And then there's the translation, the way the scholars understood it. This does not say lowest land. So again, what the hell is the prophecy here? Your prophecy here. Your prophecy here is Muhammad said that they're going to go to battle and win a battle.
No. Okay,
So are all
fine. You know what?
statisticians prophets?
Okay. Let me give you another prophecy. This one is in hadith. So this prophecy was at close to the beginning, right, of Islam, when the few believers were being persecuted. The Prophet told his companions that soon he told a specific companion that soon he will wear the jewelry, right? He will wear the jewelry of the Persian king. Something along those lines. I can quote the hadith to you. And then soon after Islam, we know what happened, right? So these Bedouin Arabs.
So hadiths. Hold on. Hadiths are written 200 or more years after Muhammad. So how's that a prophecy?
That's wrong. They're compiled in compilations around that time, yes, but they were already.
So can you show me a hadith that's actually written before Muhammad died?
Yeah, there's loads.
Show me one.
Search up.
No, this is your argument. You show me the hadith of one written before Muhammad died on paper.
Okay. Every single hadith has a chain of narration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starting from the Prophet. So the Prophet to this companion, to this companion, to this companion. Some chains are much shorter than others because the chain was there and then it got written down. Other chains.
So it wasn't written down until 200 years after he died?
Some hadiths were, right?
Can you give me one hadith that wasn't?
One hadith that wasn't written?
One hadith that was written on a piece of paper before Muhammad died.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of a bit difficult to show. But for example, there is something called Imam Malik's Muwatta, right? But even this is a compilation.
Yeah, and
right?
that was compiled in 795.
Yeah, so yeah. No, not around 150 years after. Yeah, but all of these are compilations, right?
Be 190 years after.
Well, it's approximate, right? So but all of these are compilations. But the main thing is that every single Sahih Hadith has an unbroken chain, right? Literally, for example, let's say you've passed away. You know, and
yeah. So just to be clear, you can make this argument, but I just want to be clear. So your idea of a prophecy is you have a document that's written hundreds of years after events, telling us that event's going to happen.
No, that wouldn't be my idea of a prophecy at all.
Is that not what you're saying?
No, it's not. My idea of a prophecy is, for example, if you said something now, like, for example, Eskimos are going to conquer the United States of America. If you've said that now and you pass away, right, and then the lady behind you tells someone else what you've said, and then that person... in fact, let's take it one step further.
That's fine. I understand the argument, but what I'm saying is your evidence for this.
Just 1 second, John. 1 second. Let's say you're in a room full of people. And you tell them all, right, Eskimos are going to conquer the United States of America. Then all of those people go and tell someone else, right? And then that person tells someone else. And then 100 years after you have passed, it gets written down. And when they write it down, they write down the chain, right, of everyone who has said these exact words are from you, right? And it perfectly aligns back to you. Multiple different chains, right? Because there was multiple people in the room when you said it. That is what we have with hadith, right? So if you now said Eskimos are going to conquer America, and 100 years later, right, it gets written down, and then 600 years later it happens, right? Or even 50 years after you pass away, it happens. That would be a prophecy. That would be an incredible prophecy.
Okay, so just to be clear, you have a hadith that says Muhammad's going to wear jewelry from the Persian Empire. From the Persian king.
One of his companions.
So you have a hadith that says one of his companions is going to wear jewelry from the Persian.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And that hadith is written hundreds of years later after it happened.
And it was heard by multiple people with multiple chains.
But it was written hundreds of years after that happened. So how is this evidence of prophecy?
Yeah, because it was said by the Prophet before it happened.
How do you know?
Because we have unbroken chains from multiple sources, from multiple different chains.
Okay. My wife told me that you're an idiot. Is it true?
No.
It's an unbroken chain.
Okay. That's a claim. You're not saying. So if your wife, if your wife was in a room full of people and she said, "I'm an idiot," right, and all of these people then
now watch this. Watch this, Abby. Hold on, Abby. Did you actually say he was an idiot?
Yeah, my point was
to say the truth.
No,
hold on. I'm not done. Hold on. I'm not done.
Okay.
She never actually called you an idiot.
Okay.
Okay, but I just showed you an unbroken chain between me and my wife calling you an idiot.
Okay, I get that.
But she never called you an idiot.
I know.
Okay, so how's this proof of a prophecy?
Yeah, because this example is not, this is a very ridiculous example, but if she said to a group of people or in a public place where multiple people heard her that I am an idiot, right? And then 100 years later, like these, all of these
you're adding more to the criteria, right? So you're saying there's multiple people that have heard it, so we should have multiple sources.
Yeah. So what's it called? So testimony, right? Mass testimony is an extremely strong form of evidence.
I agree.
Right. And this is what we have.
But you don't have mass testimony. You have one chain.
Yes, we do. No, we don't.
What's the mass testimony then?
There's multiple chains. There's something called mutawatir, hadiths, right? Which means that there is multiple chains.
So I should have multiple sources. Because I have multiple sources that say that he was going to wear this jewelry.
Yeah, like it's one hadith, but multiple chains, right? Multiple chains narrating the same exact thing.
So you have multiple sources going back. Show me the multiple sources.
Can you read Arabic?
Why do I need to read Arabic to understand anything about Islam? Just give me the translation.
I know, but this when we go into hadith science, the sources are all in Arabic. That's the
how convenient.
One second. Let me see if sunnah.com has it. But this is the thing. Even if sunnah.com has it, the chain of narrations and the hadith science behind it is usually Arabic literature. But I'll check. I'll see if maybe it's translated. But you know what? Look. I haven't come prepared for certain topics. I haven't got sources at hand, so I don't want to waste time searching for stuff because we're not in basic topics, right? We're not talking about Quran verses, which are easy to bring up here. So unless you want to talk about something else, I'm happy to let the next guest on.
No, unless I don't mind. Christianity is the one true religion.